Distash, what's going on? We have Aayush Puthran with us all the way from Mumbai. He's a cricket journalist, of course, writes for Cricket Buzz as well, but then he also is an author himself and writes books himself as well. Congratulations on your brand new book, Unveiling Jazbaa, History of Pakistan Women's Cricket. First of all, thank you for doing this and for letting, the world needs to read, listen, and hear these stories, and individuals like yourself put your time and effort and resources to make this happen. So thank you so much for making this happen.
Thank you, Monty. It was a pleasure to work on this story for the last 3 years.
But any specific motivation on why this topic? I know cricket is there, of course. People can say, oh, why not Indian women's cricket? Why not the English women's cricket? Why not the West Indians? Any specific reason the Pakistani national team?
Yes. Because as far as Indian women's cricket is concerned, there are 2 books written on the history, and especially one, Fire Burns Blue. I've read that one. It is so detailed that there's absolutely nothing more that I can add. It is a super book. Plus, in India, you also have quite a robust coverage in terms of there are fictions written, there's an autobiography written that's not.
There's a film coming out.
There's a film coming out. There are a lot of websites that are just covering women's cricket. There are podcasts being run by college students. There are meetups that are happening in cities just to discuss women's cricket. There are comic books as well. So India in that sense is pretty well covered, and there's not much value that I can add to India. Why Pakistan is purely because culturally there is no other country I can relate to as well as Pakistan. I mean, the other neighbors, Bangladesh and Sri Lanka. I come from Bombay, so that is why I can't understand their language and their culture as well as I can understand, say, Pakistan. And England, Australia, New Zealand, they're far off. I mean, I really can't relate to them, unfortunately.
Sure.
So Pakistan was something that I could relate to, and yes, I enjoyed that journey.
Were you able to speak to some of the players? I'm not sure if you were able to meet them. If you were, share some anecdotes with us on that front?
Oh, a lot of them. From Shaiza Khan, who started women's cricket, to going back to a lot of players who played in the 80s as well, Shamsha Hashmi, to the current lot, the youngsters coming through, Aisha Naseem and Fatima Sana and all of them. A lot of them, I think close to 100 odd cricketers, journalists, administrators, coaches, all of them who were a part of it.
The T20 Women's Commonwealth Games are happening now, and they're playing on an international level. Before, they weren't even allowed to, maybe like 30 years ago, they weren't even allowed to be out and thinking about cricket. So a lot has changed in 3 decades. You have told us this story. So according to you, what has changed? And please let our viewers know that.
Okay, so the story of professional cricket starts from 2 women trying to play for Pakistan. They come from London when Zia-ul Haq, the probably the most regressive political regime in Pakistan, comes to an end. Benazir Bhutto gets elected as the Prime Minister. They come to play for Pakistan, and then they realize that they are receiving death threats. There's stoning of the houses by these extremist outfits that exist. So they're forced to go back to UK. Now, if you see, the death threats still remain for people who are trying to organize these matches during Ramzan, those late night matches during Ramzan. But now no one is paying heed to them because parents are coming with their daughters, supporting their daughters to come and play. That is the biggest difference. Till 4 years back, Bisma Maroof, she herself said this, it's in the book as well, where she said that, I couldn't think that I could play for Pakistan post-marriage because she had seen some of her former teammates, their careers end abruptly due to marriage. Now there's Bisma Maroof, she's coming out, she's playing cricket after marriage. Kainat Imtiaz has come in, she's doing the same. Now Bisma Maroof has come, and after a childbirth she's come. Now you have to realize, in a very Asian setting, to give any sort of importance to professional life over your kid or your family is not considered good.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it is considered selfish. So now that she has normalized this, and she's a big figure, she's the captain of the team, and thankfully she's got the support that she did, which will sort of normalize it for a lot of other women across fields, not just in sports.
Let's talk about Mr. Ramiz Raja. He said that women should be stopped from playing cricket. Share that with us, please.
No, I mean, it was a case, I think, in 2004, where there were factional rivalries, as I've mentioned in the book, and Shaiza Khan, who was running the sport, she tried to invite the West Indies team to come to Pakistan and play a game in Karachi, play a series in Karachi. But Ramiz Raja was then the CEO of Pakistan Cricket, and he wrote a letter and to the West Indies team, asking them not to send the women's team to Pakistan. I mean, to his credit, he was honest about it. He's admitted that in the book, and as you can see, he's given his reasons because there were factional rivalries. I'm not sure whether he wanted to support another faction or what, but there was an attempt to stop Shaiza Khan and Kiran Baloch from playing that series. And as it turned out, that very series, Kiran Baloch scored the record double century. Shaiza Khan took 13 wickets, and that still remains, till date, the record for the most number of wickets and most number of runs in a match.
Forgive me in advance for this question, but obviously there are books, like you said, you mentioned in India. Now you've written a book about Pakistani women cricket. There's a film coming out with Taapsee Pannu. These sources of entertainment where you get to know the story and all that, of course it helps the narrative. Does it tell the story? Does it go beyond than just telling the story?
See, a movie, unlike a book, will have a greater mass appeal. Unfortunately for us in Bollywood, except maybe Pan Singh Tomar, I think the directors haven't done justice to the story, because they have resorted to fiction.
Sure.
Now, the moment you're resorting to fiction, you're telling two things. Either you do not believe in the story, or you do not believe in your craft as a filmmaker.
Lovely.
To tell a brilliant story as it is, with the complete truth, because these are sensational stories. 1983, I mean, you Mary Kom, I just bring it out, Milkha Singh, these are sensational stories by themselves. It does Dangal, it doesn't need fiction to support it. So that is the unfortunate bit with our movies. Tell the stories as it is. You do not have to resort to lies. If you are resorting to it, maybe you're not a good enough artist.
Aayush, thank you so much. Ladies and gentlemen, Aayush Puthran, of course, Mumbai-based journalist, but his brand new book, Unveiling Jazbaa, History of Pakistan Women's Cricket, is out now. Wherever you are in the world, I believe the US, UK, India is for sure. Where else can we get this book? It's on Amazon. Where else can we purchase it?
Everywhere. In UAE, in Australia, in New Zealand, it's everywhere on Amazon. There are distributors out there. In Pakistan, on Book Depository gives free delivery. So anywhere in the world, you can find it.
Lovely. So there's no excuse. Anywhere in the world, the book is out, and we'll make sure we get that. Aayush, thank you so much for your time. Thank you so much for doing this. Appreciate it.
Thanks a lot, Monty. It was a pleasure talking to you.